The most surprising thing about the British government's surrender of the Chagos archipelago to Mauritius is why aren't more people complaining? Normal countries, you see, don't surrender their territorial integrity unless they are threatened by a more powerful entity, unless they are losing in war, or unless they are officially and genuinely decolonizing. But this is not the case with the Chagos archipelago. Most native Chagosians are completely against handing over their island archipelago to Mauritius. They want it to remain British. Not only is the international ruling against Britain to hand over Chagos to Mauritius purely advisory, such rules do not apply between Commonwealth countries where Britain is the head. The fact of the matter is that Britain paid £3 million to Mauritius at the time that Mauritius got independent to relinquish all interests in Chagos. The leadership of Mauritius was simply not interested in this wild archipelago, which was far too far from them to be managed easily. The British government's decision to relinquish the Chagos archipelago seems to be linked with the policies of the former Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn, who said that he would do it, and also Keir Starmer's lawyer friends who have been pushing for it for a long time, especially one of his close lawyer friends who has been advising the Mauritian government for a substantial time. Indeed, before the last election when Labour were elected, Keir Starmer visited Mauritius and had pleasant dealings with their Prime Minister. And why should the British taxpayer be subsidizing Mauritius to take on board this vast territory? Surely they should be paying the British government instead. The Chagos archipelago is one of the wildest places on earth with the world's largest no-take protected marine reserve. This marine reserve helps boost the fisheries around the Chagos archipelago in an Indian Ocean that is already overfished, especially around the Maldives, India, and Sri Lanka. This Chagos surrender is potentially a disaster for the coral reefs, the birds, the fish, and the coconut crabs that inhabit what used to be called the British Indian Ocean Territory. Biot is the very last foothold that the British government has in the Indian Ocean. And they have owned it since 1814, having inherited it from the defeats of the Napoleonic Wars by the French. There is a very important military base here that helps Western powers to maintain law and order in air and sea in this volatile part of the world. The Americans are very disappointed by this unnecessary deal and are probably making some plans about what to do about it. The British, who happen to be controlling it, are treacherously to themselves, totally abandoning the environment, the Chagosians, and their sovereignty and British interests, sacrificing British power and influence over the world stage. Britain is now risking its other overseas territories, including Gibraltar and the Falklands. But this current treacherous Labour administration are capable of almost anything to undermine British history and British interests, leaving aside trashing Britain's ocean resources and marine life. So the question remains, why has the opposition been so weak? This is treachery, pure and simple, against British interests. Why aren't more people complaining? Why aren't taxpayers complaining? The only people who have been complaining seriously so far have been the Chagosians themselves. Not much of a peep from environmentalists who are keeping stum. Maybe they are guarding their precious grants. When we are destroying one of the most untouched places on earth and putting at risk the world's largest marine reserve, this has very serious implications for the rest of the world. Why should anyone care about our mutual environment, especially the oceans that produce most of the world's oxygen that we are breathing constantly? This is a tragic tale, and the only good that could come out of it is if some other countries also contribute to protect what remains of our ocean resources. Thank you.